We are Essex,
a team without borders.
Pioneers of change.
Rebels with a cause.
but most importantly, we are a family.
Hello everyone, my name is Cooper.
Zira, Asher,
Rachel,
And alongside us, Jeffrey, our head of presentations, and Michael, our technician. Together we represent
Enactus, Essex.
At Enactus Essex, we exchange plans, implement new ideas, so we can work alongside one another to achieve the ultimate goal. But what is the ultimate goal?
Our ultimate goal is to improve the quality of our beneficiaries' lives. We strive to empower people, giving them a platform to build a sustainable livelihood.
To achieve our goal, we worked hard to gain the trust of our beneficiaries.
empathizing with their struggle, we give them hope for a better life.
The harsh reality is this world isn't fair. We are not all granted with the same opportunities and resources. Our goal is to ensure direct access to essential resources such as education, employment and food.
With a team of 104, this year we worked on 5 projects, 3 international and 2 local.
Big Difference, a local project based in Clacton, which aims to empower needs by providing them with valuable skills and experiences.
Caring for Colchester, a project based in Colchester aimed at tackling homelessness whilst providing solutions for waste management problems.
ACRA, a project based in Mali, centered around improving the quality of education as well as providing clean water and sanitation.
Heart for Nigeria, a project providing internally displaced women with entrepreneurship and social skills, tackling the recycling problems in the country.
And finally, a project which takes you on a journey towards empowering the young women in Ghana. The project we'll present to you today is
She Inspires. So, how did we find ourselves in Ghana?
Let's take you back to when our She Inspires founder Ines went to Ghana. Whilst there, she witnessed mothers as young as 20 begging on the streets to support their children and was disturbed by 2 facts.
How can these young women already have children?
why were they begging on the streets? Where are their families?
This is when she identified a shocking problem amongst the young women of Abri, a town in South Ghana.
Now, in the Western world, young mothers still have the chance to gain qualifications, giving them an opportunity to support their family through honest work.
But this is not the case for the young girls in Ghana.
Inez was motivated to make a change, and seeing the opportunity, she contacted an organisation called ABAN, an acronym for A Ban Against Neglect.
After her conversation with them, it was made known to her that these young mothers were also victims of sex trafficking.
According to the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit in Ghana, 4 out of 114 trafficking cases reported in 2016 were sex trafficking related. A year later, they reported identifying 121 potential victims, of whom 9 were victims of sex trafficking.
Although the number of cases may seem small, at Enactus Essex we value every human life regardless of statistics.
To make matters worse, Ghana is on the Tier 2 watch list. This means they do not meet the regulatory standards for preventing sex trafficking.
You see, for victims of sex trafficking, this traumatic experience has a huge impact on their well-being, making them prone to severe psychological trauma, high levels of fear, and isolation.
ABAN takes on these young women, offering them apprenticeship with the aim of empowering and providing them with jobs so they can achieve financial sustainability.
After seeing an opportunity to turn their troubling reality into a sustainable future, it has dedicated the first year of this project towards establishing a connection with ABAN, our project partners.
Building effective communication was not an easy task, but at Enactus Essex, we believe that sincere intention brings about tangible success.
So after overcoming barriers of communication, we finally gained the trust from our project partners and agreed to take on 3 beneficiaries.
In summer 2017, we traveled to Ghana to initiate proceedings for the project. Upon arrival, we were devastated to witness the poor conditions of the vulnerable beneficiaries.
So I will ask that you dedicate more time. And then when we call for meetings, and as I say, here will be a more brand. If you have any questions, you let us know.
Our first beneficiary, Patricia, was deprived of a support system and struggled to make a sustainable living to care for her 4-year-old son, Elijah.
Next, we have Joyce. She was living in debt, had poor accommodation, and did not have any family to support her. Yet she was still required to provide basic necessities.
Moving on to our third and final beneficiary, Gifty, who found it difficult to pay for her rent, and had to borrow money in order to make ends meet.
Consequently, embarrassed about their circumstances, these girls did not have the confidence and were reluctant to open up to the community.
We carried out a needs and wants assessment through questionnaires, interview sessions, and relevant market research to evaluate our beneficiaries and create solutions.
Gifty had a talent for hairdressing and wished to open a hair salon.
Look, Patricia was a natural when it came to events decorations.
And Joyce had a passion for fashion, making seamstressing easy for her.
However, they were devoid of the necessary employability and entrepreneurial skills.
All three had a common dream of opening their own businesses, and after conducting relevant market research, we found there was a gap in the fashion and design industry that these women could fill.
And this is how Enactus Essex makes a difference.
The original idea was to execute business and entrepreneurship related workshops, so our beneficiaries can use this as an impetus to achieve their future endeavors. However, we realized that our beneficiaries were initially reluctant to speak to us.
So as a way to build rapport, Sarah and Sally took it upon themselves to visit their homes,
Speak to their existing mentors,
and engage with their community.
Noticing there was a lack of access to education for the children, Sarah also took a trip to see the abandoned library and proposed the idea of collecting books to bring it back to life.
This genuine interest touched our beneficiaries and opened their hearts towards accepting us.
To familiarise ourselves with our beneficiaries, we held icebreakers where we found out heartwarming personal stories and fun facts about their lives.
Through this, we got to know them on a more personal level, and they became comfortable with us.
Our workshops were designed to boost their employability and entrepreneurial skills, filling the skill gaps that were established in the needs and want assessment.
Our entrepreneurial skills-based workshop entailed tutorials on how to run a business, what makes an entrepreneur, and resolving the possible obstacles that may come with running a business.
Our financial management skills-based workshop helps our beneficiaries to learn basic cash flow and bookkeeping.
Our partnership skills-based workshop involved lessons on working alongside business partners and emphasised the importance of achieving a balance between professionalism and friendship.
Finally, the English language workshop consisted of basic greetings and terminology specific to their trades. This workshop now allows the business to be more attractive, as in Abri, there is lack of business owners that is proficient in English.
All 4 workshops executed enabled She Inspires to promote good quality education.
These workshops were endorsed and approved by ABAN to ensure high quality and accurate information.
Through our workshops, She Inspires has directly impacted our beneficiaries by increasing their interpersonal skills, which in turn boosted their employability.
Before encountering us, our beneficiaries lacked the confidence to speak, could not communicate in English, and did not have the motivation to live their lives.
I thank ABAN and Enactus team for supporting me and give me a good life. Thank you all.
After our workshops, our beneficiaries were more confident when it came to dealing with their responsibilities. For instance, Patricia demonstrated this as she's now able to financially care for her son.
She is able to use her profits to put a roof over his head and also send him to school. And through this, she's become socially empowered.
Also, by providing them with a more business-oriented mind, we turn our beneficiaries into budding entrepreneurs. Now, the next phase was to merge their 3 trades of seamstressing, hairdressing, and events decorations, using it to open up a business.
Whilst that, we visited marketplaces nearby the village and noticed there's not a bridal shop that combines all of these services. Now, what is currently available to the locals of Abri is a range of services that is spread across different locations.
Upon noticing this, we contacted Doris, a representative from ABAN, and asked if there was a demand for this in the community, to which she said yes.
In addition, we did market research by interviewing the people of Abri and found out the community holds approximately 4 weddings per week and often has difficulty organising this as there is no bridal shop in the area.
Now, this is where we step in and fill the gap in this market. Furthermore, our beneficiary is backed by ABAN, who are renowned in the community and can provide marketing resources. Another factor we took into account was the cultural element. In Ghana, it is mandatory for future bride and grooms to wear traditional fabrics for their wedding. This extends to Ghanaians abroad who fly back to purchase this traditional wear, demonstrating the demand for the service.
The first step in turning this dream into a reality was to create a business plan that entailed the inventories, marketing strategy, and the financial plans of the business.
With the help of our project partners and our commercial projects team within Enactus Essex, we were able to achieve this first step and also calculated the capital needed to start the business.
After making the calculations, the capital needed to finance the business was £1,700.
We decided to raise the money ourselves by winning a university grant of £300 and procuring the remaining amount through our event revenue.
In order to give accountability of the business to our beneficiaries, we made the £1,700 a startup fund and agreed to a monthly repayment of 5%, which will come from their profit that will be paid to A-Bank.
Regarding how this 1,700 is allocated, approximately 650 will go towards materials and inventory for Patricia's shop, whereas the remaining 1,000 will go towards setting up the shop.
The next step was to finance the business. However, the shop will only be run by Patricia, who will be joined by Gifty and Joyce in August upon completion of their apprenticeship.
Now, the first month will be a trial month for Patricia, where we will measure her success by calculating her profits and her financial power to get her basic necessities.
We have calculated the repayment plans and they are expected to be able to pay it back in 3 years, making the business fully theirs.
The loan repayments will then be reinvested into next year's She Inspires, making our project financially sustainable. And it is with great honour to announce that Patricia's business successfully launched 4 weeks ago.
She's able to take care of herself and her child, and she's able to train other girls too. So it's thankful, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys coming back soon so you can come and see the impact of your commitments to the projects and programs here. Thank you.
We are proud to say that Patricia has already made a profit of 1,300 cedis from booking 4 events this month alone. This is significantly over the average cost of living in Ghana, which is 735 cedis, meaning she can get her basic necessities as well as has extra left over for savings.
At Enactus Essex, we pride ourselves in building continuous ideas to ensure tangible change in the lives of our beneficiaries, the community and the environment as a whole.
In making our project more sustainable, we came up with 3 other development branches in order to enable progress.
The first branch focuses on improving the lives economically, where we incorporate a step-down apprenticeship program where A-Bank will provide 2 former victims of sex trafficking who have graduated from their apprenticeship to be employees of Patricia.
Patricia is expected to take on a total of 5 former sex trafficked women, training them as apprentices.
Once these girls have completed their apprenticeship, they will then be under the employment of Patricia, giving them a chance to earn their own income.
These footsteps will then be followed by Joyce and Gifty once they join the business, leading to a projection of 24 lives improved.
Before She Inspires, the general consensus amongst employers in Abri was that young mothers with similar experiences as our beneficiaries were unemployable, vulnerable and unreliable.
This leads to them being put in a box and not given an equal right to a better life, which is not consistent with the UN Sustainable Development Goal of gender equality.
Now, with the added help of She Inspires, our collaboration with A-Bank has brought renewed hope to these young women in order to pursue a more sustainable career.
By providing them with these apprenticeship opportunities under She Inspires, we will increase their employability prospects.
The second branch of enabling programs is having our 3 beneficiaries come together to give a motivational speech to the community. This will be done twice in a month, where the name of the attendees will be taken to measure the social impact we have towards improving their lives.
The aim here is to inspire the next wave of young women living under similar unfortunate circumstances, as well as changing the social perceptions in the community towards the former sex trafficked women.
Through this, we will increase the market force, improving the lives of other victims of sex trafficking that we were unable to directly work with.
As a secondary impact, we aspire to educate the population of Abri on the plight on these former sex trafficked women.
Through raising this awareness, we will contribute to a more sustainable community, hitting the 11th UN Sustainable Development Goal.
The third and final branch of enabling progress is to improve the environment in Abri. We plan to do this by implementing a culture of recycling by reusing waste fabrics and plastics found in the community to create decorations for Patricia's shop. Now, this plan will set us on a trajectory to attain environmental sustainability.
This year, She Inspires has changed the lives of 3 former victims of sex trafficking, making them into role models of their community.
As a result, 24 former victims of sex trafficking are now receiving direct training sessions and employment opportunities.
41 of our beneficiaries' families' lives have been improved through personal development and motivation.
Through our expansion and enabling progress, we will further improve the lives of the greater community.
At Enactus Essex, we believe in the quote, if you educate a woman, you educate the entire nation.
Have we made our mark in Agri-Ghana?
Yes, we definitely have.
We are
A self-reliant social enterprise
That has turned over £14,000 in revenue this year.
Run 5 projects.
powered 5 beneficiaries.
1 in She Inspires and 4 in ICRA.
Impacted a total of 9 individuals.
2 in She Inspires.
5 in Big
And
Difference.
2 in ICRA.
We've improved the lives of 361 people, both in Ghana and in Mali.
And hit 6 UN Sustainable Development Goals.
Now, the core belief of our projects is having the genuine connection to implement our empowering solutions.
This was evident with our project ICRA, based in Mali.
But though we do care for Colchester,
And we have a heart for Nigeria.
We do hope to make a big difference in Ghana.
So our beneficiaries like Patricia can not only have a more sustainable livelihood, but motivate and give hope to the young women of a breed. And with this, She Inspires.
we are an organisation of 104 members with stories that are as diverse as its people.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
Enactus Essex. I would now like to invite our team leader on the stage, Laura.
Judges, you are welcome to ask any questions you may have.
Hi, Jim Clifford, Bates Wells. I'm interested in the apprenticeships that you're offering locally. What is it that encourages the women you're already working with to take on apprentices and thereby create competition for their own businesses?
Right, thank you so much for your question. In regards to making other former sex trafficked women or any other girls in the community to be more inclined to actually join the apprenticeship program and making a competition, one of the ways that we make is basically to motivate the other girls that we aren't able to directly work with, which is in one of our sustainability plans, where because we realize that in Arbery there is a lack of confidence with these girls to actually penetrate the workforce, hence why we actually came up with this sustainability plan to actually motivate them and increase their confidence, thus increasing the number of impacts we have for the women in the world.
Thank you. Janine Chidlow, Brazil Solutions. What was your selection process to select the initial beneficiaries?
Thank you so much for your question. So we work hard with ABAN Against Neglect in regards to choosing the beneficiaries. So ABAN is an organisation where they have former sex trafficked women on board already. So what we do is that we carry out a needs and wants assessment to all these beneficiaries and select the ones who are committed to actually change their lives. Hence we take on these 3 beneficiaries initially.
Hi, Bradley Heslop, co-founder of WSV. You've mentioned that they repay at 5%. Can you tell me how you came up with 5% and is there a way you can get your money back any quicker?
Thank you so much for your question. So in regards to the decision we made, there are 2 phases. The first one is when we decided upon with the beneficiaries and ABAN. So we sat for a meeting and we take into account what the beneficiaries have to say, taking into account the amount of savings they'd actually like to make. So 5% of the percentage is basically decided by the beneficiaries themselves, to which we agreed upon. Secondly, we also take into account the average cost of living in Ghana, which is 735 cedis, tallying it with the estimated profit that we are going to make, which is 2,000 cedis per month, given the bare minimum wedding events bookings that they actually get. So from there, we calculated it and we see that there is basically that it doesn't cause a detriment to the beneficiary, hence we decided upon that. And in regards to your second question, whether or not we can get it paid quicker, we believe that at the end of the day, it's us helping the beneficiaries and it's not just about us making money, because at Enactus Essex, we do have other events that we can actually generate revenue. At the end of the day, Enactus Essex is here to help the world.
Adams from Virgin Startup. You've obviously put a lot of support into these three women's business. Have you given any thought as how you can scale that support so you can impact more businesses and create more businesses?
It's a very interesting question now because I really have an interesting answer for that, I believe. In regards to the scalability, at Enactus Essex, we see She Inspires as a women empowerment movement. So we wish to use the She Inspires bridal shop in Ghana as a business model and basically expand our horizon in any other countries where we can actually help empower women. So She Inspires is going to be known as a social enterprise around the globe.
Rajesh Pamphil from Barclays. On partners, can you clarify what ABAN typically does and to what extent this project falls within their remit? And also, what has been their role in the last few months? Have they been essentially running the project on the ground or playing another role?
Right, I'm so sorry, if I can clarify, is that the events we do within Enactus?
ABAN, just in Ghana specifically.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. In regards to ABAN, ABAN is basically an organization where they help to empower these former sex trafficked women. However, they do not have the right sufficient knowledge and skills to actually promote entrepreneurship skills. So that is when Enactus Essex comes and actually change it. And in regards to on-field, so we partner with ABAN to ensure that someone is actually there to monitor the progress of our project. And in regards to what we do, execution from A to Z is basically Enactus Essex, from carrying out the needs and wants assessment, from building out the workshops, from executing the workshop, from executing the business plan and giving them the sufficient knowledge to actually be business women. That will be Enactus Essex, whereas ABAN is there to actually monitor it.
Your presentation time is now ended. Judges, join me in thanking the